Hi guys, it's Miles here. Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be going through some awesome Terra LUNA staking strategies to yield farm in the Terra ecosystem. I'm here with DeFi Daily, and we're going to be running you through the top 3 protocols on the Terra blockchain, and then at the end of the video we're going to be going through 3 hot layer ones that we think can provide really good yield farming strategies in the future. DeFi Daily, welcome to the channel.
Thank you very much, Miles. First of all, thank you very much for having me here today. I'm very, very happy. To be honest, I am a huge fan. I think you've been bringing amazing content in your channel. So as I said, super happy to be here and very happy to be sharing with your audience information about Terra. I think the Terra blockchain, the Luna token, huge potential. It's true that the token has been performing well already for the last 4 or 5 months, but there's a lot of new projects coming out there that I think can definitely be a boost for the blockchain.
Definitely, for sure. And if you just check out your channel here, DeFi Daily posts awesome content. He covers multiple protocols across ecosystems, including Terra and Phantom. So go check out his channel. He's really knowledgeable and he definitely knows his stuff when it comes to DeFi. So check him out and let's get straight into the video where we delve into the Terra blockchain and run through some hot L1s.
Perfect, Miles. Let's do that. I think it's very important to start with Anchor protocol. And I say this because I think Anchor is probably one of the foundations of the Terra ecosystem. I think we're going to keep it high level, Miles. I'm sure you're going to do more videos about, this project and explain it in depth for your audience. So let's keep it, pretty simple today, cover the basics. So basically in Anchor, we have multiple options. The first option that we have is to actually bond our Luna. How does this work? We take our Luna, we bond them. In exchange of that Luna, we're going to be receiving bonded Luna. And then why should we do that? Well, it's super interesting because you can deposit your bonded Luna as a collateral in Anchor protocol. And in exchange of that, you can actually borrow UST. And then you can do multiple yield farming strategies with those UST that you actually got from Anchor protocol. Pretty interesting. Because as you can see here, Miles, the cost of borrowing, it's actually quite low. I mean, it's a 3.62% that I think it's good for a stablecoin. And then you could take this money to another protocol and earn very, very high percentages like we've been seeing around 50, 70, 100%, depending on the risk that you want to take.
In this video, we're going to be showing you how to kind of leverage the power of Anchor protocol to use your Luna, because a lot of you may have Luna positions and you're wondering, well, what's the best way that I can actually maximize my Luna bags? A lot of us have been holding Luna for a while. A lot of you may be just getting into Luna, but we all want to know strategies to be able to maximize our Luna position. So what Anchor actually allows you to do is obviously put up your Luna as collateral to be able to borrow UST against it, and then you can funnel that into other projects to be able to earn yield on your UST. So I mean, it's really awesome, and this is the power of Anchor, and we're going to be getting into some strategies in this video that can help you really leverage off Anchor and earn some awesome yield on the Terra ecosystem.
Fully agree, Miles. And I think what is even more interesting, you mentioned something very important. People is holding Luna. People want to take full advantage of whenever Luna hits 200, 500. I mean, I don't know. Sky is the limit.
10,000.
Again, non-financial advice, but I think there's a lot of potential. The good thing about this is that you're actually remaining, or you're keeping your exposure to Luna, right? Because you are actually, you're depositing it into Anchor and then you're just riding the wave. I mean, all the benefit, you're not going to have impermanent loss. There's not going to be any kind of problem. So that's the first thing that I like about this strategy. You remain exposed to Luna. Now,
exactly.
You take UST. I think the first strategy, and this is probably the most conservative one, is to actually deposit those same UST tokens into Anchor protocol. And you're going to be earning a 20% APY. Miles, tell me, I don't know where you live, but here banks would never pay you a 20% APY for your dollars, right?
No, maybe 0.01 at most. So like anytime you're able to earn almost a 20% yield on a stable coin is pretty awesome. And especially because obviously not financial advice, I consider Anchor pretty safe relative to other protocols. It has huge financial backing and has some really awesome security features. So considering all those details, 20% is pretty advantageous.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that for me, security is also a top thing. Like in my channel, I always try to reinforce the importance of security in protocols. Sometimes we try to be too greedy, right? And it's very important to really manage the risk of your portfolio. So again, guys, 20% over here, pretty simple strategy, straightforward. And what is really cool is that you're going to be paid in their Anchor token. As you can see here, I have already some claimable reward that I could actually claim right now. And there's multiple strategies that you can actually do with those Anchor tokens. I mean, you can sell them back, for example, for Luna. You can accumulate more Luna. and then invest those Luna again here in the Anchor protocol. If you like the Anchor token, you can hold it and you actually can also stake it over here. I have some money over here earning at 20% in the Anchor governance. So this is just another option, guys. You have multiple ways and multiple combinations. You can even build a liquidity pool, right? And you can put Anchor with UST and you can be earning a 61%. So again, that depends if you're trusting the potential of the Anchor token in the long term.
Yeah, so what we're saying here is one of the safest strategies. If you have Luna and you want to leverage off that, you can deposit it as collateral, receive UST in exchange, come into the earn tab, deposit your UST to earn 20% APY. It's an effective way to earn 20% on your Luna. Obviously, you have to be wary of the fact that if the Luna price drops to a certain level, you can be liquidated. So always be wary of your LTV when you are borrowing. I like to set mine around 20-25%, which means that for every $100, you're receiving $25 in available capital. Whereas if your LTV hits 60%, I believe they start selling a portion of your Luna to pay back the loan. So just be wary of LTV, keep it fairly low risk, and you're not running into too many headaches when it comes to liquidation.
Fully agree, Miles. As you can see, this is actually my own portfolio. I have it right now around 27%. So trying to stay away from that 60% so that, we don't get liquidated. So that's a very simple strategy, guys. I hope you liked it.
But we're degens here. We don't want to just make 20%, do we? You guys want some strategies to be able to really leverage off your Luna. So what do you have for us, DeFi Daily?
Well, we have multiple options. Let me show you the first, and probably this is the most risky and most complex, but I like it very much. I think Osmosis, it's also a protocol that has a lot of potential. So do you think we should start with this one, Miles?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so guys, Osmosis is the leading decentralized exchange of the Cosmos ecosystem. And Cosmos is a blockchain. The native token is Atom. And Osmosis has been performing extremely well. I mean, when I take a decision about investing, I always try to understand what is the behavior of the market. And if you go to DeFi Llama, guys, and you check the different chains, well, you can see that Osmosis, actually, it's been the second DeFi blockchain that has been capturing the maximum liquidity in the last 7 days, just behind Phantom. This is just crazy, man.
I mean, yeah, we've seen the strong growth, obviously, of Phantom with the mass amounts of liquidity being sucked into the Phantom ecosystem. But, if we look down the ladder a bit, Cosmos actually, and Osmosis specifically, comes in, second. So we're seeing huge growth. And it's something we can really take advantage of when looking for yield farming opportunities.
Absolutely. And you can see it actually grew more than Terra, man. This is absolutely nuts. So yeah, Osmosis, it's a very cool chain. I don't know if you know it, Miles, but actually it's gasless. So whenever you do a transaction here, you don't have to spend gas. And this is amazing if you want to do compound interest strategies, because you can move your funds in the protocol without spending gas fees. I mean, this is just amazing. If you guys have been using Ethereum, paying hundreds of dollars in gas fees, this is free.
Crazy. Yeah. So let's show us a strategy, how we can use our Luna and put it to good use.
Definitely. So actually what is super interesting about Osmosis and Luna is that they are partnering. So they have created a cross-chain bridge. So you can actually move your Luna tokens or your UST tokens from the Terra ecosystem into the Cosmos ecosystem, and more specifically to Osmosis. And here you go, guys. These are the pools that I'm talking about. You have Luna with UST. Again, you need to take into consideration there is a little bit of a risk of having an impact in impermanent loss.
Yeah. So basically, impermanent loss is the opportunity cost that you lose compared to if you were to hold the tokens in your wallet without staking them. So you're not actually losing money through impermanent loss, but you're losing potential gains compared to holding Luna tokens in your wallet. Impermanent loss is only really a massive issue if the token absolutely skyrockets. So obviously, the LP needs to rebalance. So if Luna 10x'd, you'd get a small amount of impermanent loss that comes with the rebalancing. So just keep that in mind. However, obviously we're earning a 71.37% APR here. So the impermanent loss is like well and truly offset in most cases, unless Luna did like a 50x or something crazy.
I fully agree, Miles. And actually, if we follow and if we think about our strategy, I mean, our big bag of Luna, it's going to be actually over here, right? We're going to have bonded it, and then we would have it here. And what we would do is with the UST,
exactly.
the UST that we take, we're going to actually sell half of it for Luna. So we are actually going to increase our exposure in Luna. and then we're going to invest it in this pool. That's a cool strategy.
Yeah, so just to run it through again, you put up your Luna, and then you bond it for B Luna, putting it up as collateral to borrow UST. Then you take your UST, you sell half of the UST that you've just borrowed for Luna, and then you can deposit it into Osmosis, gas-free, into this pool to earn 71.37%. So this is the first strategy that I really like, and I think we're seeing a lot of awesome strategies presenting itself in the Terra ecosystem.
I think another option, if someone wants to take a little bit more of a risk, is to actually split the USTs and sell them for Luna and Osmo. That is a native token of this decentralized exchange, that if you check CoinGecko, it has been performing extremely well. Again, this is more for degens, right?
Yeah, if you're really bullish on Osmosis, then, this offers, a great option. You can put your Luna and Osmosis together. So obviously now you'd be selling all your UST for Luna and Osmo, and then you can put them together and earn a 93% APR. So that's also a really cool option to take advantage of Osmosis.
Okay, so this was the strategy on how we can play with Anchor, Osmosis. But why am I so bullish on Terra ecosystem? And this is the reason, guys. Mars protocol. This is about to launch, and this is going to get
massive.
Crazy, Miles.
Yep, absolutely massive. Let's go through what Mars protocol is, because if you haven't heard of it, it's a decentralized credit protocol on Luna. So we can look at their light paper and find out a little bit more about how it works and potentially when it's coming, because it's coming really soon.
And what it's amazing, Miles, and I think this is why for me this is super important. Whenever a money market is launched in an ecosystem, LTV just goes to the moon. We've seen it in AVAX. When Aave moved into AVAX, the price of the Avalanche token skyrocketed. A lot of people moved their funds. Why? Because you can make amazing strategies with the money market, right? You can lend your money, earn money on that, then you can borrow. If there are additional rewards, like it happened in Avalanche, you are actually getting paid for borrowing money. That's amazing, Miles.
Yeah, I know. Anytime you can get paid to borrow money, it's a win-win. It's a complete win. Instead of paying 20% a month on your credit card, we're getting these protocols which are offering you're getting paid to borrow. So, it's crazy. And we're going to see huge incentives to come across and take advantage when this launches.
Absolutely. I think we're going to leave this article in the description of the video, Miles, so that you can so that your audience can check the detail and go through it. But maybe we can cover some of the most high-level important elements of it. I think, like you said, this is going to be a money market. It's going to have different functionalities. You're going to be able to deposit your money. You're going to be earning rewards on the deposited money. You're going to be able to borrow money. You're going to probably get paid at the beginning for borrowing that money. And then you're also going to be able to stake their Mars token. And how is it going to work? There's going to be a token called Mars. So like all banks, Mars aims to attract deposit and lend out that money safely without incurring excess risk. That's basically the idea, right? So Mars tokens economics, incentivize design and governance system is critical to actually achieve this goal. So there's going to be an element of giving that governance of the project to the token holders. And for that, they're enabling the functionality of staking Mars. So Mars holders who wish to participate in the governance can actually stake their Mars tokens and receive X Mars in return with a 2-week unstaking period.
Yeah, so if you want to take advantage of the Mars protocol, if you're super bullish like we are, when this token actually drops, if you can accumulate it and stake it as X Mars, obviously you receive rewards back. It's the governance token of Mars, so you receive rewards back in exchange for holding the token and staking it. So X Mars holders will receive a share of the protocol interest revenue. So I think Mars will be massive for Luna. So I think that, Mars holders will be very well reimbursed, but obviously this also opens up the door to a lot of other strategies. Some of my viewers still might be a little confused as to what Mars does. Would you say that it's pretty similar to what Scream and Tarot Finance are doing on the Phantom ecosystem?
Absolutely, Miles. I think you can think about it like definitely Scream, Gist Finance, or even Aave, right? Aave in Matic or in Avalanche. So basically, it's a money market where people can deposit their money and then take other assets being borrowed.
Borrowing lending is essentially...
Borrowing lending. Absolutely.
The gist of Mars, yeah. This is the first of its kind on the Terra ecosystem. Obviously, we've had Anchor Protocol, but
I think probably the difference is going to be the amount of tokens that you're going to be able to deposit as a collateral. Because as you can see, Anchor was focused on Luna, and it was focused basically. Then they opened the option of Ethereum, right? But in this case, I think this is going to be more like an Aave or Scream, where there is like a huge list of tokens that you can actually deposit, borrow multiple tokens. So I think that could be one of the key differences. What I think it's also super interesting, Miles, something that I like to do when projects are about to launch, to understand what is the hype behind them, and not only the hype, but the community that supports it. I love to check Twitter.
Exactly.
So Mars Protocol, 50,000 followers, which I think is huge for a project that hasn't even launched, right?
I know. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if we look right now, it's considering it hasn't even launched, that's just awesome. And it just goes to show the power of the community. From what I've seen and from my experience, we've got the Phantom and Luna communities as kind of like the two most active communities in the space. We can also back this up with social data that Luna and Phantom are two of, if not the strongest communities in crypto. So the strength of a community goes a long way to dictating the success of these protocols. If you have a strong community and a strong team, you can go a long way. I know Mars has this. I know a lot of the major projects across Phantom and Luna both have this, so that's why they're my two favorite ecosystems right now.
I fully agree. And what I also like very much about Terra ecosystem, making a comparison to Phantom, is that projects work together. And for me, that's critical for an ecosystem to succeed. So in this case, you will have Mars Protocol collaborating with Astroport, that is going to be the decentralized exchange, collaborating with Anchor. Liquidity is going to be moving from one to another. They're going to be incentivizing users, right, to invest in one and the other. So that's super, super important to have your liquidity flowing between projects.
And now I think it's important to actually touch on Astroport. That is a really awesome project as well. So
again, we're not going to go into all the details, but Astroport is the AMM built in Terra. I think it's going to be the top decentralized exchange in the Terra ecosystem. And that's something huge to say, right? It's a project that launched not a long time ago. We can check it over here. It has the swap functionality like every single decentralized exchange where you can actually purchase the different tokens. It has also pools where you can actually invest and start staking your tokens. I really like this pool, the Luna, because again, it allows you to avoid that impermanent loss that we were talking about, Miles.
Exactly. So what you can do is you can bond your Luna tokens on Anchor for Luna, and so you bond 50% of your tokens. You can pair them with Luna, and you can come in to Astroport and deposit them. And what kind of yields can we expect? Because obviously the APRs aren't publicly stated right now. I think that's a feature that's coming. But what kind of rewards can we expect for bonding Luna and Luna on Astroport?
Yeah, you're totally right. I think the team hasn't really shown yet what is the APR that they're going to be paying. What I understand is that right now we are earning the different fees of the protocol. So when people exchange tokens, the fees that are generated are paid to the holders of the liquidity pool tokens, right? And the people that stake those liquidity pool tokens in the pools. To be honest, I have been investing here already for a while. Actually, I got part of the airdrop. So I got Astro tokens. You can see it here. Then I got some locked liquidity in Luna, and also in Astro UST. And this is slowly growing, right? I'm earning part of those fees. To your point, Miles, I don't know exactly what is the APR yet. The team said they're going to drop very soon an upgrade on their UX, and they're going to be able to show the APR. And not only that, they're going to be paying also Astro rewards. And for me, this is one of the important things, guys. This could be the next Uniswap, the next PancakeSwap. I mean, it's going to be the key token, the main token of the main decentralized exchange in the Terra ecosystem. That's huge.
Main DEX on Terra, awesome staking features. I mean, it's going to be massive. We're still in the really early days of Luna, and I mean, I could say the same for a lot of major blockchains right now. There's so much scope for growth. So just the fact that you're here now, learning about them, maybe you can go and follow them on Twitter. Like the fact you're in the communities, kind of learning about these things before they even take off, is really awesome. There's no need to FOMO in right now, but just the fact you have it on your radar and that when we start getting these features, you can start to really take advantage. That's a really important thing, I think, being like early to the curve with a lot of these protocols, which we certainly are in the Terra ecosystem.
Absolutely, Miles. And I think your community is going to like that you bring these projects in early stages so that, to your point, whenever they start booming, we can be already here, right?
Exactly.
And connecting that to, I think, the last part of this video, Miles, I think we wanted to do a quick review of some of the other blockchains and protocols that are out there and that are starting to popping out, right?
Definitely, because we know the Phantom ecosystem is exploding right now. We know that Luna's exploding or will explode, especially once some of these protocols start to launch. But we also want to have a look at some other options across other L1s because, as we said, being early is so important in crypto. And there's a lot of new developments happening across some other L1 blockchains, which I think are going to be really intriguing. So let's get into a few of them and start providing some strategies to the viewers on how to take advantage of that. Rose, look at this. It's just exploded. I remember when Rose was first coming out, I think it was like 5-10 cents. I kind of didn't bite the bullet. We had that big Facebook announcement where Facebook was partnering with Rose for some of its AI automation stuff but look at this price just explode.
It's crazy. I mean, I wanted to zoom out the graph because I think it's important to give people kind of a sense of where we are. I mean, right now, the price of the token is 0.52. The all-time high was about 0.58, almost 0.60. But yeah, to your point, we're saying that in November, this was trading at 0.17, 0.18. That's absolutely crazy.
If we actually look at the max supply to circulating supply, how are we looking there? Because I know that Rose had an emission schedule which had a lot of people wary. It's one of the reasons I didn't fully invest, because I knew that there was going to be dilution coming, but it seems to not have affected the price. I mean, this market cap's just absolutely exploded regardless.
That's a very, very good point. And you know what? I think there's also a long strong of fundamentals, right? And a lot of bullish news. So for example, Binance Labs backs the Oasis ecosystem fund, 200 million. This is amazing because it's going to make a lot of projects to start popping in the ecosystem, and this is super important.
Yeah, Oasis has those big partnerships. We got Binance, has big institutional backing. It's got that Facebook partnership. They had their own incentives fund. Like, Oasis is heavily backed, so I mean, I wouldn't sleep on it. At the same time, as we were just saying, I also don't think it's necessarily wise to be buying it at all-time highs, but have this on your radar, and we're going to get into some of the protocols on Oasis that you can take advantage of the price growth, because yeah, it's just been insane. And I think there actually is opportunities here in the ecosystem that haven't necessarily pumped yet, because, you know, obviously looking at that Oasis chart, it's like, well, like, can I really enter here? Well, here we go, YuzuSwap. Maybe there's an advantage getting in on some of these earlier projects.
I fully agree with you, Miles. I think people need to be very careful when, jumping into a project. Rose Oasis have been growing too fast. So be careful. But nevertheless, fundamentals are strong. YuzuSwap, this just launched last week, Miles. So we are bringing news to your followers. In this case, yeah, we're talking about a project that just launched. It's going to be the first decentralized exchange in the Oasis network. We have, again, swap functionality. We have liquidity mining. So these are the current opportunities if we are talking about yield farming strategies. I mean, I don't know, man. I look at these APRs and I get a little bit crazy, right?
3,600% on a USDT YUZU pair. So if you're bullish on YUZU, this is pretty much a no-brainer because you're earning a ridiculous APR. I mean, I don't even really care about impermanent loss in this case because that APR is just insane. Like, it's just absolutely nuts.
Absolutely. And again, we all know that this is not going to stay that high, right? As long as, in the moment that liquidity starts entering into the project, APRs will go down. But again, if you enter early, then it could be an option. Again, not financial advice, right, Miles?
Yeah, obviously do your own research on the YuZu protocol. It's super interesting. It just launched, so obviously there's a lot of new features and details to come out, still in its early stages. So do your own research before entering something like this because it is risky, but we're just showing you that there could be huge opportunities on the Oasis ecosystem in the near future.
And for example, if we're going to go with a little bit less risk, hey, this is Rose with stablecoin. Again, 130%. You don't see this a lot.
No, I mean, the only other comparable pair in the Phantom ecosystem would probably be Phantom MIM at like 120. I mean, so if you're bullish on Rose, you could pair it with USDT to earn 129. I mean, there's pretty crazy yields.
Let's go check out the last one that I wanted to cover today on your channel, Miles, and this is StellaSwap. Actually, it's not a very big one. We're talking only about 55 million. But what I really like is that it's part of the Moonbeam blockchain. So again, it's a blockchain that not a lot of people have been investing in, but I really liked it because, as you know, part of my strategies are a little bit conservative. I like to play with the risk of my portfolio. And one very critical and important piece of anyone's portfolio needs to be their stablecoins, right, Miles? You need to have those stablecoins for whenever the market dips.
100%. And as we see, as people start to take profits, we need places to actually park these stables, because if dips come and if opportunities come along and you want to take advantage, having those huge pool of stables sitting there earning massive APRs is actually quite advantageous because you can make 70% on your DAI USDC, and then when you want to take advantage of a dip, well, you have the profits that you just took plus the additional APR that you received, and you're compounding, so it's like a win-win really. So it's a super important strategy to have that as part of your portfolio, especially in times of volatility like right now. Smart
money knows where to go, right? So as you can see, the two pools that have the largest TVL here are the ones with stable coins, because you cannot find, where can you find this? I think there's nowhere you can earn 70%. And what I really like is that it is still quite high for $15 million invested, Miles. This is a good APR.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. As you know, as more people kind of put liquidity into a pool, the APR tends to drop. But like considering there's quite a lot invested and the APR staying high, I mean, that's a really good sign.
StellaSwap is going to be also the decentralized exchange of Moonbeam. So it's going to have the swap functionality similar to what we saw in YuzuSwap or in Osmosis. You have the option to invest in liquidity pools, then you're going to be able to farm. So it's a decentralized exchange AMM system. Right now is the biggest one in the Moonbeam ecosystem. So I think it's a pretty good opportunity. Again, guys, there's definitely a risk with all of these tokens, but go check out. You have, for example, Ethereum with the Moonbeam token paying 369%. So again, if you're bullish in both Ethereum and GLMR, wow, I mean, this is a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely crazy. Some of these, the opportunities and some of these protocols. And that's why we're making this video, because we're presenting you opportunities, in different ecosystems to start, getting you thinking a little bit about diversification, where you can take profits, how you can kind of funnel those profits to make a higher APR, because we're seeing massive opportunities, in DeFi. And if you're smart, I think you can really do well in DeFi in 2022 and beyond.
I think you mentioned a very important point that is also about taking profits. Phantom, for example, has been skyrocketing. Maybe it's an interesting idea to say, hey, I take some profits from there, I bridge them to Moonbeam, or I bridge them to YuzuSwap, and then I start earning higher APRs. Again, this is not financial advice. There are multiple strategies, but could be an option, Miles.
I mean, it depends entirely on your position, right? Just for the record, I believe we've got so much more upside in Phantom and the Phantom ecosystem. I think we can still 10, 20x this year, but if you got in on a project like Phantom really early, then it does make sense to take profits. No matter how much I like a project, no matter if I'm super bullish on a project, I'm still always thinking about taking profits regardless, just to hedge my bets a little bit. So yeah, just for the record, I'm still, very bullish on Phantom, but taking profits is almost never a bad idea. Even in Luna, it's never a bad idea, if you're up a lot, to kind of consolidate some profits. And these are some options where you can actually start earning yield on your stablecoins. I know I'll be doing, a more in-depth video on some stablecoin strategies, because that's a really in-demand topic right now. But, we're just seeing the mass opportunities across DeFi and some of these newer L1s.
I think to wrap up, Miles, what I really like is the fact that we're seeing so much movement in the DeFi ecosystem. I mean, this cross-chain growth, it's something that one way or another is going to be positive for all of us here in DeFi. So I really like this, man.
100%. And then, I think StellaSwap's a great site as well to take advantage of some of those yields.
So, Miles, I want to thank you very, very, very much for having me today on your channel. I really loved going through all of these projects, having this chat with you. Again, sharing the knowledge that we have and learn from each other, which I think is the most important here. You and I keep learning. We learn from your community. We learn from my community. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for coming on the channel and presenting some of these options to us. I know my viewers will be really grateful, and I hope you guys were able to learn something, and really start thinking about some of the other opportunities we've got right now in ecosystems like Terra. Thank you so much. Remember to check out DeFi Daily's channel. I'll put the link in the description. Check out his videos. He makes really awesome content. And I know we'll be doing another video over on his channel, so I'll also leave that link in the description when that video is live, and you can check that out as well. But thank you so much for coming on.
Appreciate, Miles. Have a lovely day and talk soon, mate.
Thank you very much. All right. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, subscribe, click the notification bell so you don't miss any new content from myself. And I hope you have a lovely day. Peace out.